Casting Crowns, the very next thing. With special guest Danny Goki. And Unspoken. Join Casting Crowns for the Very Next Thing tour, performing songs from their latest album, The Very Next Thing, as well as all your favorite Casting Crowns hits. Casting Crowns, The Very Next Thing tour with Danny Goki and Unspoken. It's an evening you won't want to miss.
Get your tickets now to see Casting Crowns, Danny Goki, and Unspoken at the SIU Arena on Good Friday, April 14th. Tickets are on sale now, and buy them on our website at wvyn.org.
Real Life Radio, 90.9 The Vine.
90.9 The Vine, in conjunction with AreaSports.net, proudly presents The Sports Couch. The Sports Couch is the area's only locally produced weekly sports show that is live on FM radio and also streamed live on both of our websites at AreaSports.net and at WVYN.org. We will be on the couch this morning. Let's find out. The Sports Couch is on the air right now. And hello again, sports fans. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Couch here live on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. We, of course, live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net, live audio streaming at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment. Danny, it is that busy time of year as we're wrapping up the regular season and getting into postseason. The pairings have come out for 1A and 2A basketball regionals. You have the junior high state tournament wrapping up this weekend, and boy, it's an exciting time for basketball, isn't it?
Basketball junkies love it.
We sure do, and we've got a lot of guests on the show today, and I honestly wish we could have more on today because there's so many coaches we would love to talk to this morning about what's been happening, but, you know, we've got an hour and a half here, and we're going to squeeze 7 coaches in today.
Yep, we'll have to get rolling on them.
Let's tell you who we got, all right? First of all, we're going to visit with Coach Adam Book of the Fairfield Mules here in just a moment. He's been filling in with Coach McElravy the last couple of games because Coach McElravy's son has played on that state champion Fairfield Colts basketball team that won the Class M title last night.
Yeah, the Colts go down there to Wren Lake College, and they took care of business this week.
Finish a perfect record season of 28-0. We'll visit with Coach Jeff Morris of the Colts coming up later on the show this morning as well. Also going to visit with Coach Russ Gerlach of the Edwards County Lions, Jeremy Varner of the Hamilton County Foxes, Josh Bradley of the Eldorado Eagles, Tyler Buss of the Mount Carmel Aces, and Don Kueper of the Wayne City Indians. All going to join us this morning on the Sports Couch, so fasten your seatbelt if you're a basketball junkie, because this is the place to be. Danny, a lot of big games around the area last night. Why don't you run through some of the scores for us right now?
All right, from the Black Diamond last night, Edwards County goes and defeats Fairfield 57-47. Carmel takes care of Hamilton County 53-46. Very good played ball game down there last night. Good battle by a much improved Foxes team. Christopher 64, Vienna 49. The Eldorado Eagles keeping cruising along, 94-67 over Johnson City. Goreville 61, Cessar 43. From the river to river, the Benton Rangers keep moving. They defeat Harrisburg 55-46. DuQuoin 79, Sparta 51. Massac County Patriots won their 4th game in a row last night, 45-42 over Heron. Murfreesboro 52, West Frankfort 39. Nashville with a big win, 48-34 over Carterville. Pinckneyville 74, AJ 35. From the South 7 Conference, Mount Vernon Rams had a pretty good effort against Carbondale last night, 46-32. Centralia beats Belleville Altoff 68-54. And Marion 60, Cahokia 52.
And we'll pass along some more scores in just a little bit from the Little Illini, the Apollo, and some other games. You mentioned that win for Benton last night over Harrisburg. That was a big win for the Rangers. You know, they're still in the hunt for that River title, which I understand they've not won since they've been in that conference.
Never won it.
Never won it.
They have Massac County Patriots tonight. And then they go to Murfreesboro next Friday night, so they control their own destiny.
They do, and they lost to Murfreesboro Wednesday night in a makeup game at home. It was one of those ice Storm games that they made up Wednesday night, and they just stubbed their toe Wednesday night. So,
yeah, they played. Heard Ron Weinmiller this morning say they played 10 games in 18 days.
Yeah, that makes it tough. All right. Well, you mentioned the Fairfield Mules. They played the Edwards County Lions last night. Lions, of course, having a great season, and Fairfield had the lead for a while, but the Lions came back and won that one 57-47. Last night, coaching the Mules is assistant coach Adam Book. In fact, he's coached the Mules the last couple of games because head coach Scott McElravy has been down watching his son play at the Class M state tournament down at Rend Lake College. And, of course, the Colts won the Class M title last night. So Coach Book's going to join us on the show this morning to talk about the Mules, and I'm sure we're going to talk about the Colts as well. Good morning, Adam. How are you?
Good morning. Doing great, guys.
Great. Good to have you on the Sports Couch this morning. And so, you had a lot on your plate here this past week as you are leading the Mules varsity. And
the JV.
And the JV, yeah, that's right. And a lot of responsibility. And of course, you've had to face a resurging Fox's team earlier this week, the Mule Barn, and then last night a very good Edwards County team. And so which game would you like to talk about first?
Well, I guess we'll go in order. We'll start with the Fox's game.
Okay.
I don't know what their record is now. I know it's not as good as they are as a team. They're playing really well right now.
Mm-hmm.
Last weekend they beat Gallatin County. Gallatin County is a very good team. So we knew we'd have our hands full, and it was a hard-fought game. We got out to a lead, and boy, they're late. Oakley Dial stepped up for them and hit some big shots, some tough shots, some guarded shots. And it was enough to get him to overtime, and then he did it again in overtime, and we just couldn't overcome it. It was a good game. We thought we could maybe make him run around enough early in the game that he wouldn't have his legs late in the game, but he sure did. He had just enough to hit the shots that they needed to beat us. So,
Adam, it was a game of shots. It was kind of between Jamin Vaughn and Oakley Dial there at the last. Both those young men hit some big shots for each team.
Yeah, they did, and Jamin's had a history of doing that here over the last month or two for us. When we need a big three late, it seems like he comes up and nails it, and I think he scored 8 in the overtime to keep us in it. But I'll give credit to the Foxes. They're playing some good basketball right now.
They're definitely playing their best basketball here at the end of the season. Some things have kind of come together for them, and some kids have bought into some things, Adam. You got a nice JV team up there at Fairfield also. They picked up a good victory over the Foxes there on Tuesday night.
Yeah, our JV team, that was the only loss on the season was the first time we played the Foxes. So we kind of had that one circled as a game that we weren't going to take lightly for sure. And our guys played well, and we got that win.
Well, then let's move on to last night's game, Edwards County Lions. And again, Coach Russ Gerlach's really got the Lions playing well this year, as they've had some big wins here in their first year in the Black Diamond Conference. So tell us about the game last night with the Lions.
Well, they've got so much size. They're bigger than us across the board. And last night we decided to start 4 guards and kind of used our advantage at the other end. And for a while it worked. I was really proud of our guys. Our guards were having to guard in the post, and they really battled. We hit some shots early, got off to a big lead. I think it was 15-3 at one point. And then, as good teams do, they came back, and it was a 4-point game at halftime and a 2-point game after the third quarter. We took the lead sometime early in the fourth quarter, and then they came back and answered with the big 3, and then we had a chance to cut it to 3 again, and then we just couldn't ever get over the hump. We hit a stretch where we were getting the same shots that we'd been getting the whole game, but we just quit hitting. And then they hit their free throws down the stretch and pulled away. I was proud of our guys, fought hard, especially being outsized like that. I mean, it was a tough battle, but I'll give credit to Coach Gerlach and the Lions. They have a very, very good team.
How about the JV contest? How'd that go last night with the Lions?
JV, well, it was another victory for our JV team. We're still the only JV loss we have is to Hamilton County, and then we were playing in the Conrad Allen, and we got 3 wins against varsity teams earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's right.
Our JV team is playing very well. Our freshman team actually won last night as well, and they are 19-0, going for 20-0 today in the championship of the Lawrence County Fresh Soft Tournament. So a lot of success at the lower levels for sure.
You bet. So you got a 19-0 freshman team. You got a 28-0 eighth grade team coming in next year. Things look pretty good on the horizon for Fairfield Mules basketball.
And only one loss on the JV.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's looking pretty good, Adam.
The future definitely looks pretty bright.
Yeah, it certainly does. And how about that effort by the Fairfield Colts winning the state championship in Class M? I know you got to be real excited for those young men and looking forward to seeing them come to high school.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Really excited for all those guys. These are kids that we know very well. Of course, Noah, Coach McElravy's son, has been around the program forever. But all these kids come to summer camp, and all these kids come and sit behind our bench at the home games. I mean, we're super excited for them. Our guys, we're excited for them because they see these guys come and get excited for them. So it's a great thing for our town. The support for the Colts has been great. Like I said, the future is pretty bright for the Mules.
You know, I even saw a comment on social media last night from Nathaniel Lackey, one of your former great players there in a Mules uniform, who's since graduated and went on, and he was making a comment about those young Colts last night. And he says he can remember those Colts coming to watch him and Gifford and the rest of those guys play when they were fourth, fifth graders, things like that, and now here they are in eighth grade and winning a state title, and he's thrilled for them.
Sure, and that says a lot about Nathaniel. He's a great player, but he's an even greater guy. But a lot of those kids, he's exactly right. I mean, you think back, some of them they're 6, 7, 8 years old, and they're sitting right there 2 rows behind the bench, cheering and got their faces painted, and they've been huge supporters of our program, and now they're getting some return support from our guys too, and they deserve it.
So what's in store for the Mules this week, Adam? We're going to the last week here of the Black Diamond season, and regional plays getting ready to ramp up. What do the Mules have this week?
Yeah, we have Flora comes in Tuesday night for our senior night, and then Friday we finish up at Carmel for their senior night, and then pairings came out. We have a quick turnaround rematch with Edwards County. This is our first opponent in the regional, that Flora.
Yeah, I see that. You're in the Flora Regional. You come in as the 6th seed. Edwards County is the 3 seed. Mount Carmel is also in that regional as the 2 seed. And, of course, Hamilton County plays Flora in a first-round game there in that regional as well. So, again, Flora, Hamilton County, Mount Carmel, Edwards County, and your Mules are the 5 teams in that Flora Regional.
Right, and it's most people would say it's a pretty top-heavy regional with Mount Carmel. And anything can happen on any given night, but they would definitely be the clear-cut favorite there. But you get Fairfield versus Edwards County. We beat them. They beat us. Flora and McLeansboro is going to be a hard-fought game. You just never know what's going to happen, but we're going to give it our best shot, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, Adam, we appreciate you joining us this morning on the Sports Couch. It's been fun having you on here, and, again, excited about what you've been able to do this year, leading those junior varsity Mules and what the future looks like there, particularly with the freshmen coming on and the 8th graders coming on. And, again, kudos to you for stepping in that head coaching role this week so that Coach McElravy could enjoy watching his son and the other guys play down there at the Class M state tournament. So, way to go.
Sure, I was glad to do it. Those are memories that'll last a lifetime. I was glad he was able to get to see those guys play. Yeah,
very much so. And kudos to the administration of Fairfield Community High School
for
encouraging him and allowing him to do that. Yeah, so, I mean,
sure,
that's really good, too. All right, Adam, have a great weekend. Appreciate it, okay?
Okay, thanks, guys.
You bet. Bye-bye. Adam Book, and again, I thought that was really a good move on the part of the administration at Fairfield Community High School.
Well, that's his son. Mm-hmm. And you'd never be able to go back and get that.
No.
And there'll always be regrets if he didn't.
28-0, perfect season. Yeah, pretty amazing to be a part of that, and glad that Coach Mack could be down there to watch that. So it was great to have Adam Book on this morning, too, because he's
a great young coach.
He is. He's done a lot of great things with those young men, and I know you pointed out in the broadcast earlier this year that you and I were doing where you were talking about a coachable moment out there when one of the young players of the Mules kind of lost his cool a little bit, and Coach Book.
He took him out, and the young man tried to go past him, and he didn't let him go past him.
And he had a coachable moment
That's
there.
right. He got up there, and he did. Yeah. He didn't do it in a loud voice. He didn't create a scene.
No.
He just got between him, and they discussed something, and I'm sure he got his point across.
And I'm sure he learned something from it. So, yeah, kudos to him. All right. Well, we are excited about the Fairfield Colts and their 28-0 perfect season. We're going to talk to head coach Jeff Morris about the wild ride and about their victory last night against Vienna. That's coming up next here on the Sports Couch. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
Heard the old saying, practice makes perfect. Well, there's actually a lot of truth to that, and you can get one-on-one instruction in baseball, softball, basketball, as well as speed and agility drills at the Sports Zone in Fairfield. The Sports Zone has been in business for quite some time now and has helped many area boy and girl athletes excel in their sport of choice. Lessons and practice times are available at convenient times that meet your schedule. The Sports Zone is located on Delaware Street in Fairfield, and we appreciate their support.
Underwriting on the Vine is provided by B&C Bicycle Fitness in Mount Vernon. B&C Bicycle Fitness specializes in bikes for the beginning rider to the high-end racer and can equip you with a comfortable bike to enjoy a healthy, active lifestyle with family and friends. B&C Bicycle Fitness is a full-service bicycle shop and is located at 410 South 27th Street in Mount Vernon. Their phone number is 816-4077. B&C Bicycle Fitness in Mount Vernon, where the adventure begins. Real Life Radio thanks Fairfield Printing and Graphics for their partnership in local Christian radio ministry. Fairfield Printing and Graphics offers custom sizing for banners and signs, as well as yard signs, corrugated signs, and metal signs. Fairfield Printing and Graphics also specializes in custom t-shirts, business cards, wedding invitations, hats, bags, and much more. They are located at number 5 Williamson Drive in Fairfield, and their phone number is 842-4048.
Hey, welcome back to the Sports Couch here live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio, and of course streaming worldwide on both of our websites. Live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net and live audio streaming at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson live in studio along with Danny Anselment. Well, last night was the state championship game of the Class M Junior High Boys State Tournament through the Southern Illinois Junior High School Athletic Association. They hold that each year at Rend Lake College. Fairfield Colts completed a perfect 28-0 season last night, defeating the Vienna Rams by a score of 52-35. 28-0, Danny. It's a pretty amazing feat, isn't it?
Quite a great season. You know, it's hard to go through a season unblemished because you have just some nights that things don't go right, and to be able to fight through those things, that junior high season is a long season. Mm-hmm. That starts in October and finishes up now here. We're getting midpoint of February, right, and that is a long, grueling season.
Yeah, it really is. A lot of things can happen. A lot of things could possibly go wrong during the season. But it was a perfect season for the Fairfield Colts, 28-0, and head coach Jeff Morris joins us right now. Good morning, Jeff. Congratulations.
Good morning.
Hey, thanks for having us. Congratulations. What a tremendous season. You got to be just so excited. Did you sleep at all last night?
I didn't sleep much. Let's put it that way. It was just a great feeling last night, and just one of the things that you didn't want to end. So, yeah, I didn't get much sleep.
No, I'll tell you what. Well, you had the guys really prepared last night, and first of all, right off the top, let's talk about the community support, the fan support. Wow, I mean, Fairfield turned out big time last night, as they have all season long, but especially last night when they knew that the state championship was on the line, and they were there to support the Colts.
Oh my, the community support was just incredible last night. We had a send-off before the bus left, and we had a whole bunch of people gathered there and kind of tunnel the kids to the bus. That was pretty neat, and the kids really enjoyed that. Then we got to the game, and we got there early because we knew it was going to be hard to get seats, and that place packed up fast. And by the end of that first game, that place, I mean, you couldn't find a seat. You couldn't barely stand on top of the top level there. Mm-hmm. And I guess during our game, people were having trouble finding seats as well. So, yeah. The community support was just unbelievable last night.
Yeah, well, let's back up here. During the Class M state tournament, the quarterfinals, you won your first game over Pinckneyville rather easily, 66-14. Now, this is a team that came in as the defending Class M champion, but you really took care of business and put that game away early, leading 20-6 after the first quarter. Talk about that.
Well, yeah, like you said, we got out to a fast start against them, and
when we went down and watched them play, we noticed that their guards didn't handle pressure particularly well. So we tried to make it a full court game. So we pressured them man-to-man, full court. You know, it's kind of funny because that's something they like to do to teams, and we were able to do that to them, and just kind of got them out of sync. And they never really got into an offensive flow the whole game.
And then in the semifinals down there at the Class M state tournament, you beat Cesar-Valliere by a score of 43-26. That game was close for a while. Cesar-Valliere was hanging with you for a while, but you found a way to put it away in the second half.
Yeah, we actually got out to a 17-5 start in the first quarter, and then after that, you know, the Cesar battled back a little. But anytime they made a little run, we were able to make a few baskets to kind of extend the lead. And you know, the key to that game was stopping that number 14. I think his last name's Woodland. That kid's a nice player, and we actually held him to 0 points. And you know, that kid's a heck of a shooter, and you know, for us to be able to do that, that's probably the key to the ball game.
Well, and I think your defense was a key to the game last night in the championship win over Vienna because, again, they had a very athletic player, too, that was really a speedster, and you were able to pretty much neutralize and contain him most of the evening.
Yeah, that little 25, and, you know, I would say that kid he's tough as nails. He came in, he had a hurt wrist, and I'm not sure if it was broke, but he played with it wrapped last night. And, yeah, that's probably one of the fastest kids I've ever seen with the basketball in his hands. And, you know, we talked all week after that Cesar game about we've got to get back in transition. We've got to run with them and then corral them and kind of force them east and west, and not let them get going north and south. And you've seen the kids once he got going, just try to sprint as hard as they could with him. Even though they knew that he's probably a little faster than them, they sprinted their hardest and, you know, did just enough to make him go east and west.
Looked like you were playing some kind of variation of a 1-3-1 there, at least for a while, and doing some trapping, and they just didn't have an answer for it.
Yeah, we switched. We have kind of a gimmick defense that we put in on Wednesday, and basically all it was is we put a guy at top like you would on a 1-3-1, and a guy in the middle, and a guy at the bottom. Then we matched up man to man with 25 and 21, and basically, I told our top guys anytime 25 and 21 got it, that go ahead and go help him, trap him a little if you can. But the biggest thing is help him, don't allow him to penetrate, because it seemed like their offense got going anytime those two were able to get into the lane and penetrate.
Danny, we've been down there covering a lot of games before in years past at the state tournament. You know how big that floor is at the college level, and a lot of times junior high teams don't, play well on a floor that large because they don't get into their offense the right way. But the Colts were able to handle it both on the offensive side and the defensive side.
Good teams really adjust to that, Randy, and I've also seen it be an advantage for a team like the Fairfield Mules because they use some of their strengths on a floor like that, and what an atmosphere that is down there at Rend Lake College. You'll not play in a grade school game in a place that's any more fun to play.
It was pretty loud down there last night, wasn't it?
Oh, gosh, it was really loud. I couldn't really communicate too well with the players. I remember them looking over, and I'm yelling back at me, and just, it was just a great atmosphere. It gets loud in that place, and it really hurt us on the communication part. But and what was so incredible is how poised our kids were through it all. I mean, I think that experience last year really helped them. And last night they walked in the game, they were confident, and I don't think they let the moment bother them too much.
Well, one thing I noticed is that they were very confident stepping up to the free throw line, and you shot a lot of free throws last night because they were trying to foul you in the second half to get the ball back and that sort of thing. But players just stepped right up and knocked them down. Yeah,
absolutely. Free throws were definitely key to the game. We finished the game 22 of 32, but in the fourth quarter we were 16 of 20. So
wow.
They started fouling a little early, and shoot 80% from the line in the fourth quarter. That just says a lot about the kids' ability and their ability under pressure.
Pretty well sealed the deal, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. 16 out of 20. Wow.
Yeah, like I said, they started fouling early, and then they actually fouled some of the kids that we wanted going to the line. So I don't know if they didn't know who could shoot and who couldn't. We don't really have no kids who can't shoot, but fouling Zerlini and McElravy and Pruitt, it's kind of almost give me for them three.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did they have a big celebration for your team when they got back last night?
Oh yes. Oh gosh, it was great. We the fire truck met us as we got into town, and of course we had a big following around there, and the community they packed the streets. I couldn't believe how many people were out that late, and just they're supporting the boys and yelling and screaming, and just the atmosphere was great. And then we rode the fire truck all the way to DiMaggio's, and DiMaggio stayed open late for us and let us have the celebration there as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Way to go, Joe. Joe DiMaggio. All right. Yeah. Awesome. That's great. Well, it's not something that happens just any old time or any old year. I mean, this is something really, really super special. Not only winning the state title, but to go 28-0.
Yeah, it's kind of surreal right now. It just doesn't seem like it happened, but it did. So I think a couple weeks from now, I really have time to really think about it, and I realize what happened, but it just happened so fast. So just right now, I guess just trying to enjoy it.
Well, I expect we're going to see one of those nice-looking green IDOT signs there on the entrance into Fairfield here soon. They've got to get that done and put up.
Yeah, the coach and I were talking about that last night. That we're going to get a nice green sign on town now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we had Coach Adam Book on before you, the assistant coach of the Mules, and we were talking about the success of the Colts. And of course, he's very happy for you as well. He knows all the kids because they've been coming to summer camps and things like that. But this group of kids now are going to go into the high school. And you got a freshman team that's currently 19-0, and you got a JV team that's only lost one game. Wow, I think the future looks pretty bright for Fairfield Mules basketball.
Oh yeah, it definitely looks bright, and I would just like to be at the practices because there's so much talent and ability out there. I think the practices would be a lot of fun, and just the kids getting after each other and competing. And of course, you got that much talent. The kids are going to make each other better every day.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very competitive. It sure is for those starting roles here over the next couple of years. And and you had that even this year at the 8th grade level. I mean, that was one of the things we've talked with you about before, is the fact that your depth was so good on this Colts team. And I think that was probably a difference that showed up again last night in the title game.
Oh man, that was the biggest difference in the game. We got in foul trouble early. Pruitt and Pruitt. I know Pruitt got in foul trouble, and then it was. Well, let me get my book real quick. Sorry. I think it was called Massey. It was either Pruitt Massey or. But anyway, make a long story short, Caleb Wells and Max Puckett came in, and they were the difference. I mean, first off, Max Puckett was just an animal on the boards. That kid played hard, and I think he realized how big he was last night, and he started pushing people around and started getting position. And you look at him, he's just out there having the time of his life. He's smiling. And then Caleb Wells, his ability to play defense, and also he's a rebounding machine last night as well. And he had a big putback at the end of the first half. Mm-hmm. And we always joke with him in practice, shoot the ball, shoot the ball, shoot the ball. Well, he gets a rebound with 2 seconds left, and in the first half, off a free throw miss, and goes back up and puts it in. And we're kind of joking with him at halftime. I said, I guess if you pick a time to shoot, that was the perfect time to do it, Caleb.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. Well, we don't want to let you get away without giving you an opportunity to talk about two very special guys that also have assisted you all year long in the coaching staff, because you guys have worked really, really well together. So talk about those guys.
Oh yeah, we got Coach Atterbury. He's been with us. Well, he started at Fairfield when I started there, and he does a great job. He's opposite of me, and I guess Scott's the opposite of me too. I'm kind of fiery, and I'm moving around everywhere, and they kind of keep me in check, because they balance me out pretty good. But and Coach Foster, he joined us last year. He's really been a big asset on the rebounding part. 'Cause he was a big in high school, and he wasn't a big scorer, but he understood about doing the little things, such as rebounding, and he's really brought that to the table for us. So yeah, they do a great job.
Yeah, so kudos to Coach Atterbury and Coach Foster for what they've contributed to the success of the Fairfield Colts this year. Well, I'm sure you are going to find a very special place in the trophy case there at Center Street School for that big trophy you got.
The kids have already said front and center.
Yeah, and those people who are watching our live video stream right now, we've got a photo up on the screen of you and the team members and the other coaches all have their medallions on around their neck, very proud with that trophy, and it's just a special moment, and it's something they will never forget for the rest of their life.
No, they'll never forget it. I had the pleasure to play down there in 7th grade when we got second place, and my time on the floor, I think I maybe got a big minute in there, but I remember that minute, and for those kids to go down there and finish off a perfect season, and to have the community just rally behind them, and for all this to happen to them, they're going to remember this for the rest of their lives. And they get down the road, they'll get to go back in that school, they'll get to look at that trophy case, they'll get to look at the wall and see their picture, and
of course they'll get to look at the numbers up on the banners, and that's something that's always going to be there, and that no one will be able to take away from them.
And every time you drive into town, you'll see that IDOT sign here soon, too.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Jeff, hey, thanks so much for joining us this morning on the Sports Couch. Again, congratulations on what's been a stellar season, and get some rest now, all right?
I will. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You bet. Okay, take care. All right, bye-bye. All right, Jeff Morris, head coach of the Fairfield Colts. My goodness sakes, what a superlative season. It's what more can you say? And a great outpouring of community support, not only at the game, but when they got back last night. It's great to see.
Well, yeah, and the pressure's going to be on the Fairfield Mules. They're going to have some talent, and there's going to be some more expectations for these groups coming through here. You know, Randy, when you take this sophomore group, the freshman group, and this group coming in, you've got 3 great classes right there in a row that's got some size, some strength, and it'll be the job of Scott McElravy to get that group blended together and do some big things. And
Coach Morris just said something real interesting there, too. You know, he says, what are these practices going to be like? I mean, my goodness sakes. I mean, they're going to really be getting after it in practice because it's going to be highly, highly competitive.
Oh, yeah, and, you know, it's one of those deals that the longer you progress and the more these kids stay and fight, then you have the problem of how do you keep everybody happy playing.
That's right, because you got guys who are used to being, part of the starting role, and some of them their role may change.
Well, you know, I guess one of the best examples is I can use is myself. I played at Dalger in grade school, and I was kind of the man.
Sure.
You know, I had a very successful season. I go into Hamilton County High School, McLeansboro at that time, and there's 16 of us that were the men.
Sure, right.
I went from being the man to one of the boys,
exactly.
And that's a pretty tough adjustment.
Yeah, but with that being said, think of the depth that they will have with the Fairfield Mules.
Yeah.
They will have incredible depth here with those 3 classes over the next few years.
And you have to be able to have talent to replicate things. When you've got good talent to push good talent, you can have big things happen. And look for that Fairfield Mules community to have a lot of good things to happen in the next several years.
Well, again, we appreciate both Coach Morris and Coach Book for coming on the show with us this morning. When we come back, we're going to talk to Coach Russ Gerlach of the Edwards County Lions. They've
got some big things going on there,
They got
too.
some real big things going on. That might have been win number 20 last night, was it?
And he's got 3 sophomores.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the cupboard's not bare.
Don't feel sorry for him either, folks.
The cupboard's not bare for Coach Gerlach. We're going to talk to him coming up next on the Sports Couch. Stay tuned.
It's the local sports talk show that everyone is talking about. It's the Sports Couch on 90.9 The Vine and AreaSports.net.
This is your station for the Casting Crowns concert on Good Friday, April 14th at the SIU Arena in Carbondale. This is WVYN, Blueford, Wayne City, Fairfield, McLeansboro, and Mount Vernon.
And now on Translator, W288CO Centralia, broadcasting at 105.5.
A service of Real Life Radio Foundation.
The best Christian music. 90.9 The Vine.
Monthly financial support of local Christian radio is provided by Home Source Warehouse in Mount Vernon. Located 4 miles north of Mount Vernon on Route 37, Home Source Warehouse offers a warehouse full of quality furniture and mattresses with legendary service. Open Thursday and Friday 10 to 6, Saturday 10 to 3. You can find them on Facebook, and their website is homesourcewarehouse.net. Their phone number is 204-5515. Home Source Warehouse, where style is affordable.
105.5 and 90.9 The Vine thanks Swibbles Repair and Sales in McLeansboro for their monthly underwriting support of local Christian radio. They repair small engines and ag equipment, and they sell small engine parts, including oil filters and belts. They have agriculture aftermarket parts, interstate batteries, big truck parts, and truck lighting. As Steel and Husqvarna dealers, they offer a wide variety of chainsaws, trimmers, and cut-off saws. Whipple's Repair and Sales in McLeansboro. Their phone number, 618-648-2227. Open Monday through Friday, Saturdays till noon.
105.5 and 90.9 The Vine is thankful for the ministry partnership with Country Bob's All-Purpose Sauce in Centralia. Country Bob's product line includes the original all-purpose sauce, seasoning salt, barbecue sauce, spicy all-purpose sauce, honey habanero, apple chipotle, and marinara. Country Bob's is located on U.S. Highway 51 south of Centralia and can be reached by calling 800-373-2140.
Yeah, welcome back to the Sports Couch. Here live on a Saturday morning on 105.5 and 90.9 The Vine Radio. Also streaming live worldwide on both of our websites. We, of course, have live video streaming right now at AreaSports.net and live audio streaming at WVYN.org. I'm Randy Olson, live in studio along with Danny Anselment. And, Danny, a couple of other things that occurred in basketball last night we want to take note of.
Yeah, we had a couple big things last night. Eldorado beat Meridian 63-58, and it was Meridian's first conference loss since 2009.
Now think about that. Yeah.
Just think about that.
Wow. First conference loss since 2009. And what does that say about the Eldorado team?
This Eldorado team, Randy, is a team in that 1A bracket that people better pay a little attention to. They had a couple kids move in, and they have really turned that program around down there, and they could be dangerous in this postseason run.
Flying under the radar screen there, aren't they?
And also, congratulations to Bobby Wagner, head coach of the Pinckneyville Panthers. He picked up his 400th coaching victory last night, and what a milestone for that young man.
Yeah, and Pinckneyville's playing real well now, too. So they're going to be dangerous in 2A for sure.
Another dangerous team's going to be the Edwards County Lions.
You got that right. They've bumped up from 1A to 2A this year, and they're having a great season, and they got another win last night as they beat the Fairfield Mules by 10 points. And with us on the phones, head coach Russ Gerlach. Good morning, Russ.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Great. Good to have you on the Sports Couch, and congratulations on your win last night over the Mules as those Lions just keep things rolling.
Yeah, it didn't start off very well, but we definitely finished the game strong and happy to pick up another win.
57-47 was the final. Is that win number 20 now for the Lions this year?
Only number 19. We sure want number 20, but we ain't got there yet.
All right. Who's next on the schedule so you can get number 20?
Well, it's not going to be an easy one. We've got Eldorado next week, Friday night at our place.
Oh, well, you're looking forward to that because I know you weren't real happy with the way you played last time against them, so you're probably looking forward to that one, aren't you?
Well, let's say the first time we played them at the tournament, we played okay. Last time we did not play our best basketball, and we're definitely looking forward to another shot at them.
Yeah, okay. Well, 19 wins on the season, and again, the Lions really making noise this year in the Black Diamond Conference, your first year in the conference. And, of course, also the pairings have come out now in Class 2A, and you're going to be going to the Flora Regional this year. What's your thoughts about that?
Well, we were pretty sure we were going to get the 3 seed. I wasn't sure if some people were going to still vote Mount Carmel number 1 and Eldorado number 2, even though Eldorado beat them in the regular season. But everybody, I think, went with Eldorado first. So, we got to head to Flora and got to get past Fairfield for the 4th time first to have a chance at Mount Carmel. They've got to get past either Flora or Hamilton County. But, we talked at the beginning of the season, we'd sure like to have a shot at them because they're supposed to be pretty darn good. And hopefully we can take care of business and get that shot and maybe get us another regional title.
Yeah, your first game in that regional against the Mules will be on Wednesday the 22nd, 7 o'clock there at Conley Gym in Flora. And that'll be another good matchup between your Lions and Mules, and both teams know each other extremely well.
That's right. We've already played each other 3 times. Luckily, we've won twice. It's going to be hard to get them a 3rd time for sure. We got plenty of time, though, to get ready. And, first we got to take care of business against Eldorado. I don't know if everybody realizes this or not, but if we win, Friday we'll have a share of the conference title, and that's something we've definitely been talking about this last half of the season and working towards, is we want to have a chance to get a conference title our first year in, and something I don't know when the last time Edwards County basketball has won a basketball conference title, so we definitely want to get one, and whether it's the first or one of many, we want to get it done.
Well, that Eldorado team, your team matches up well against them. You're probably one of the best matchups for them in the Black Diamond, Russ.
Well, I think we're one of the biggest teams for sure, size-wise. We're not near as big and wide as some of their guys. They've got some guys that look like full-grown men, and we've still got some, skinny, tall kids.
That's that all beef lineup. That's what I call them.
Yeah, yes, they definitely are. And hopefully we can use some speed and quickness to our advantage. And we've got all week to get ready for them. Hopefully we can make some minor tweaks and stuff to get ready for their 1-2-2 defense. It really gave us fits the last time we played them, and we've seen it. Marshall County played that against us there last Saturday. Hopefully going against them and against it all week in practice, we can be a little bit more prepared, and hopefully we can find a way to slow them down a little bit. I think it's been a little bit of both that last time. We had trouble with that, and we just couldn't slow them down much on offense. It seemed like everybody they had could put it in the hole the other night. So hopefully those things get fixed this week and be ready for them Friday.
They put 94 points on the board last night.
Yeah, I saw that. That really did make me happy because they're a little.
I hate to be bearer of bad news, but they put 94 on the board last night, Coach. So I think they're clicking pretty good too.
Yeah, I was. Let's say usually they're a little slower paced team, but I don't know. Maybe Johnson City wanted to try to run them out of the gym and see if they could use their quickness, and it didn't sound like that strategy worked. So maybe we'll have to try something completely different.
So Eldorado's the only team you got left on the regular schedule before the regional then?
Yeah, correct. We've got Tuesday off.
Okay, all right. Let's back up to last Saturday because you went down to Benton at Rich Aaron Gym at the shootout. You took on a very good Marshall County, Kentucky team. I know you lost that game, but I'm sure you learned a lot from that game, so tell us about it.
Well, they're a really big school, and they've got a lot of great athletes. I think they're probably the most athletic team we played. They pressed 1-2-2 the entire game, and that gave us a lot of fits early. And not only do they press you full court, then you get in the half court, they've usually got two guys on you. Whether it's a full-fledged trap or just a little bit of pressure, they were just everywhere. We struggled early with it. We had some turnovers that I have to admit against most teams would have been layups, but we threw the pass and it was picked off. And so some of those things that just not used to that quality of athlete going against them on the press like that hurt us. And we were 0 for 10 from three-point land. I think it took us till the fourth quarter to finally hit one. And, the guys that we had shooting them, that was unusual. So, we were down by, I think, 14 or 16, and we cut it to 9 with like 25 seconds left to go, and we subbed, and we hit one more three to make it 6. But, that was definitely good for us. It's playing against a bigger, stronger, faster team. Because, as you know, as we go farther and farther into postseason play, if we're lucky to get out of regional, that's what we're going to see. And, hopefully it taught us a few things. I think this week we have done a better job of taking care of the basketball. So, always lessons to be learned, and usually you learn the most when you lose.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, it was a great place to play basketball. It's the first time your team got a chance to go over there to Rich Aaron Gym, and it's one of the special places in Southern Illinois to get to play.
Yes, it is. We didn't really get a chance to talk to them a ton about the history, but I mentioned now, Doug Collins has got a picture hanging in the rim or on the side. And, I told him a little bit about JoJo Johnson, how he'd walk in the gym and he was in range. And it was just nice to talk about a little bit of the history of this place. And, we're excited a chance to go back there for the next couple of years. I think we're going for sure at least the next two. And, just a chance to play in bigger gyms, bigger venues, loud places like that. It all pays off, like we said, as we get ready for postseason.
Well, I would like to have heard your conversation with Coach Gus Gillespie of Marshall County. That must have been a fun conversation with him before the game.
Well, we really didn't get a ton of time to talk. We didn't get there real early. We got there a little closer to game time, and we obviously exchanged pleasantries before the game, but did get a chance to talk to him a bunch. His funny story though, his dad has been a sub at our school for the last couple of years.
Really?
So I've talked to his dad there at least once or twice a week for the previous 2 school years. He hasn't been there as much this year. It was nice to get a phone call from him the next day, and just said how impressed he was with the team and everything. And I told the kids they were very appreciative of him giving us a call as well. So didn't get to talk to Gus, but I got to talk to his dad a little bit.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, for those listeners or viewers that don't know, Gus Gillespie, former player at Lawrenceville back in the day, and then of course he coached under Doug Creel for a while at Mount Vernon, and also was head coach at Centralia for a while before he went on down to Marshall County, and he's had a lot of success down there, and like you say, He's got great athletes.
Well, and he was also the head coach at Robinson when they went to the state tournament.
That is right. That is right.
Yeah,
he sure was.
When I was at Florida, they beat us in the Newton sectional. They had the Brooks and the Schnicker kid.
Yep.
Some really, really good players.
Yeah, Gus does a great job. He was a great player himself and a very, very good coach. So.
Yep.
Yeah. So all right. So no shame in losing to Gus, I don't think.
No, and I'm not trying to make excuses, but when a school of 280 goes against a school of 1300, it's usually not going to. You wouldn't think it's going to be a fair matchup, but I'm pretty proud of the way our boys hung in with them, and I think felt like we had chances to make a run there in the end, and didn't quite get it done, but still a good experience for us.
Sure. All right. Russ, hey, thanks for joining us this morning on the Sports Couch. We appreciate it. Again, congratulations on your win last night over Fairfield. 19 wins on the season, and best of luck as you prepare for Eldorado this week.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys.
Right. Okay, have a great weekend. All right, bye-bye. Head coach Russ Gerlach of the Edwards County Lions. First year in the Black Diamond, 19 wins now, going for number 20, and a possible share, Danny, of the Black Diamond Conference when they go down to Eldorado this week. It's going to be the third time that they've played the Eagles. That should be quite a matchup, and we're going to talk to Coach Josh Bradley a little bit later on about it, too.
Yeah, his team will have a big challenge. That Eldorado team's on a mission. Well,
you pointed out the fact they scored 94 points last night. That's pretty impressive output last night against Johnson City as the Eagles won at 94-67. I'll tell you what, if you want to pick up on some of those other scores we missed last night from, say, the Little Illini, the Apollo, and then some of the other ones, and then I'll get our next coach on, all right?
All right. From the Little Illini last night, Flora defeats Paris 72-63. Casey Westfield defeats Lawrenceville 59-58. Olney beat Newton 62-53. Robinson 60, Red Hill 49. Marshall, another team that's going to be strong in that Class 2A field, they defeat Sullivan, Indiana 65-58. They're in that regional with T-Town. They're 1 and 2 in that regional. From the Apollo, Effingham 93, Mount Zion 80 in double overtime. And here's another team, Randy, that's playing some very good basketball right now. Coach Andy Fernbacher has this Salem Wildcat team. They defeat Mattoon 63-56, and I think they're 12-14 on the season now, only in his second year up there. And he said, give me 3 years, and look what he's doing here in year 2 already.
Well, and you say 12-14 overall, but I think in the last 7 games, I think maybe they've won 4 or 5 of those 7.
5 out of 7.
Yeah, so, he's got them playing good basketball, and I read someplace, and it might have been in the Salem paper, where I read, the guys are finally learning how to win, and that's what Andy was talking about, the fact that, once you really learn how to win, and it changes the culture up there, and that's what he's doing. He's changing the culture at Salem.
Well, I think you got another guy on the phone that his team has figured out what it takes to win and how to win. There have been a lot of close ball games all season. They've been so close sometimes, and they just needed one to get over the hump. And I think Jeremy Varner's Foxes have figured this deal out also.
I think you're right. Jeremy joins us right now on the Sports Couch. Good morning, Jeremy. How are you?
Hey, guys. Doing well. How are you?
Great. Good to have you on the Sports Couch this morning. Tough loss last night at Carmel, 53-46. But as Danny said, you've been playing some great basketball here as of late. And, of course, you got a big win at Fairfield in the Mule Barn against the Mules earlier in the week.
Yeah, I mean, the guys have earned a couple wins here in the last week. We're pretty excited about. I think beating Gallatin County starting off last weekend on Saturday. And, that was a game that we were keying on all year. We knew it was going to be a good game, and then going up to Fairfield, that was, that's the first time we've won up there in a number of years. So, that was a game where we took the lead, gave the lead up, went back and got it. Just a bunch of lead changes, and I really think that's the first time in a win this year where we've battled, back and forth with the lead change and had to come back and then. And ended up on top, so that was a good win for us. And last night Carmel was just a little too tough for us. They've got too many guys that can shoot the ball, and we just couldn't cover them all last night. So they're a pretty good team, and look for good things in the regional coming up from them.
Well, your Foxes team, Jeremy, you had some good quality shots there in that first quarter. I thought that was kind of the difference in the game. Your Carmel got out to a little lead on you. Their shots went, and your shots rolled around, fell off. One shot got blocked by Jake Simon and enabled them to get out to about a 10-point lead there at the start of that game. And then it was just kind of a back-and-forth effort the rest of the game, and your Foxes were coming on hard there at the end of that contest, but you needed about 2 more minutes.
Yeah, we did. I think it was a 6-point game at half, and it ended up being a 7-point game. So, that we've done that a couple times. Edwards County's done that to us a couple times too, where we just, they got a lead on us early in the game, and then you play them even the rest of the game, but it's hard to make up that 7, 8, 10-point spread that you spot them in the first quarter.
Yeah, that or the third quarter. It seems your team has had some trouble in the third quarter coming out, getting some good shots, but not being able to get them down. And I know in one of the Edwards County games, it was like a 2-point game and a half. They come out and they get an 8 or 10-point lead in that third quarter, and then you're trying to dig out of that hole and battle back, and it ended up getting beat by 6 points up there at Edwards County. And you got to play 32 minutes of consistent basketball, don't you?
Yeah, you do. There's no room for making bad decisions as far as ball possession. And I think we've gotten a little better at that, but we still have those 4 or 5 things. I think we only had 7 turnovers last night,
right.
7 or 8 against
Carmel. I had you for 7.
And so that's much improved. You look early in the year, and we were
in the 20s.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'll answer that question for you.
We've definitely gotten better, and we've got a couple games left before the regional, and we're going up to Florida, and I think the guys, even though we didn't pull it out last night, I still think that they understand, and just like you guys were saying, are starting to understand what it takes to win, and that's going and getting a lead and building it and taking care of the ball when you have it, taking good shots when you have the lead.
Well, the last time you played the Carmel Bulldogs, it was 57-33, and last night it was 53-46. So you can see in a couple of weeks what kind of improvement your team's made. But talking about your upcoming games, you got a big game at Hamilton County tonight. The Waltonville Spartans comes to town, and that's a team that you definitely have to feel that you might put another win up on this week.
I'd love to go ahead and count it as one, but they got some pretty good guards up there, got some experience back, and it's going to be one we're going to have to fight for. They're 1A, and man, they seem like they always have a good group that can score the basketball. I mean, they've got several kids that can score it, and
they got the Spillman boy in under the basket. He may cause a little bit of trouble for you. He's a good rebounder and things. He's got a little bit of size. So yeah, it won't be no pushover tonight, but it should be a great contest from Hamilton County, and it's definitely one you have to feel that your team can compete, and you'd like to think you could come away with a victory tonight.
Absolutely. I think we feel that way tonight. We feel that way next week against Johnson City, and then going up to Florida. I think that's a game that I know the guys want it. I know that. I know they want the opportunity to play Mount Carmel, and so we finished the season with 2 or 3 wins here, hopefully 3, and that sure turns around a season that a lot of people thought was dead. If we can go in and win a regional game and let these seniors feel what it feels like to play 2 games in a regional, So, but that started last Saturday, and hopefully we can continue that, and guys have bought in, and so hopefully it'll continue on tonight.
Well, Jeremy, we'd like to thank you for joining us this morning. Congratulations on your Foxes team, the way they've been playing here in the last couple of weeks, and keep up the effort down there tonight, and we look forward to having the game on FoxesFans.net. If you can't come out, the Hamilton County Foxes will be taking on the Waltonville Spartans at Jerry Sloan Gym tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate you guys
all right, Jeremy.
Covering us. Okay,
you bet. Good luck. Good luck tonight, all right? Okay.
Thank you.
You bet. Jeremy Varner, head coach of the Hamilton County Foxes, and again, that win over Gallatin County was a quality win. That win at Fairfield was a quality win, and again, much improved effort last night against Carmel.
Yeah, you don't go to the Mule Barn and win very many games up there. and that was a great battle on Tuesday night.
And right now on the Sports Couch, we're going to talk to the head coach of the Wayne City Indians, and that is Don Kueper. Good morning, Don. Great to have you on the Sports Couch today.
Good morning, Randy. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Your Wayne City Indians went and took care of business last night against Sandoval, 84-31, to keep your unbeaten streak alive in the Midland Trail Conference. You still got a very good chance of winning that conference this year, and that's got to make you feel good.
Yeah, you know about Sandoval a little bit. That not one of the better teams in the area, but we learned early on in the year not to overlook anybody. So the kids did come out ready to play. We got up big early and then just kind of coasted. I think maybe I had one starter play in the second half. So just kind of an easy night. And then, of course, Chad Dickey was able to score 1,000 points in the first half. He needed 19 going into the game and got 20. So, there was some time out for some celebration there. And then after that, the kids just finished up the game well and playing for the conference championship on Friday.
Yeah, that's great for Chad Dickey. He's had a great career there in Indians uniform, so it was nice to see him accomplish that last night. And let's back up just a little bit because you got a huge win on the road at Woodlawn to keep that streak alive. And I don't know how many years it's been since Wayne City's gone in and won a game at Woodlawn, but that's not something that just anybody can do.
It's probably my proudest I've been of the kids, for a win. They told me that I want to say first win against Woodlawn since maybe 11 or 12.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said it was the first win at Woodlawn since 95. So, you're looking at maybe 20 years or so. And it was on Woodlawn senior night with guys like, Blake Waterman, who've been a big part of the success that Woodlawn's had the last couple years. Very, very great win. Kids played extremely hard, great efforts, and it was nice to come out with the win the way we did.
Yeah, it's always nice to go in and ruin somebody's senior night, isn't it?
Well, I'm not going to say that. I don't like it when my senior night gets ruined. But it puts a little bit on, we knew we wanted to win to stay unbeaten in conference and play for that against Waltonville. And when we showed up, they told me, oh, hey, it's our senior night. And I'm like, well, that's all Woodlawn needs, another thing to play for. But it was nice. The kids stayed focused. Woodlawn did a great job. They played hard. And our kids were just better that night than them.
Well, it seems like your kids really have bounced back after, the disappointment there in the Midland Trail Conference tournament when you guys went to the other side of the bracket. You did win that consolation championship, though, in that tournament, and since then you've bounced back with a couple of key wins, with that Woodlawn win being one of them. And now here you are in the driver's seat with a chance to win the conference title. And also the pairings came out yesterday from the IHSA. You're going to be hosting the Class 1A Regional this year in your new gym. You are the number one seed in the regional as a result of what you've done so far on your resume.
Yeah, it was nice. That just shows some respect from some of the other teams. We played 7 of the 13 teams in our subsectional. Went 7-0 against them. And then, of course, when it breaks down into the regionals, we've beaten NPOE, we've beaten Weber, we've beaten Woodlawn, and Waltonville. And Waltonville is the only team we didn't beat by double digits. So it puts a lot of pressure on our kids. We're kind of focused on not being the number one. This year we were the number one in the Conrad Allen, and we got second. We were the number one in the MTC. And, we got consolation in that. Both those tournaments were at our place, and that didn't fare too well. But I think the coaching staff really has done a nice job already, even though it's early and how the season's come out. I believe our kids are focused on we're not the number one. It's the postseason. We've got to just beat everybody in there and keep rolling. So hopefully we can stay focused on that.
Well, it's going to be a nice thing for your school and your school system to have this regional and this new facility it's got. It should be a great atmosphere for boys high school regional.
Yeah, and of course, our crowd should be a big factor. Other teams are going to have to get there early if we keep getting, if we keep going deep in that regional tournament. I know our city's going to pack the place. But on the other hand, it's not so much home court advantage. I think Weber's played 6 or 7 games there this year. And of course, Woodlawn played there in the MTC tournament a couple times. So for those teams, they've got some familiarity with the gym and have played in a little bit. But, it's exciting that it's at our place and everybody gets to see our school, so, it's nice.
I think the biggest disadvantage for anybody that comes in there and plays is the rims. Those rims are so tight. I've not seen a team shoot the ball well in Wayne City School yet.
No, you got that right. That's one thing we said. Both Woodlawn and Weber neither one of those teams really shot it well, in the MTC tournament. And, it factors us, too. I think I was on earlier in the year, when I'm a diligent stat keeper, and for the year, our team's shooting 56% overall from the floor. Away from Wayne City, we're shooting 59%, and at home, we're shooting 39%.
Well, I can just tell you, at home, it better be straight down and through the hoop, or it ain't going in.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Eric Green's a guy that's kind of, I feel a little bit bad for him. He's a great shooter, and last year he wound up shooting 47% from behind the three-point line, and this year he's sitting at about 42. But, he's had some shots that have been down there and in three-quarters of the way, and, they just pop back out, and I think that's affected his shooting some. And come late in games, like you said, when teams need to get back into games and have to do it for the long ball, if it's not nothing but net, it's going to have trouble going down.
It has a lot of trouble going down.
Yeah.
Well, so you got 1 week of regular season left before you move into that regional, and so you've got Waltonville coming up this week, and anybody else?
Yeah, we've got North Clay on Tuesday and then Waltonville on Friday.
Okay, all right, and then Waltonville will be the 4 seed in the regional, and so they'll be on the opposite side of the bracket from you, and so potentially you could be seeing them in the final if it all plays out. But again, you got Woodlawn, Waltonville, and other teams that are in your regional at Wayne City.
Yeah, I would think, and you don't want to take us for granted. NCO, we played a really nice ball game against Crab Orchard last night and lost by 2. And but you would think it could be an all, if it goes by seed, it'd be an all MTC, semifinal with us against Weber and Woodlawn against Waltonville. So it's great for the conference. And hopefully it's a good regional tournament.
Yeah. Well, Don, again, congratulations on the win last night and also the win recently on the road at Woodlawn and still staying undefeated there in the Midland Trail Conference. Best of luck here in the final 2 regular season games, and we will see you at the regional at your place at Wayne City, all right?
Appreciate that, Randy. I'd also like to send some prayers out to the T-Town basketball team. They were in a bus accident last night. It looked pretty bad, but I guess everybody got out fairly safe except for the bus driver.
Yeah, I think it could have been a lot worse, sounds like, but yeah, we certainly want to remember those people today. Appreciate that.
And once again, congratulations, Chad Dickey, on going over that 1,000-point barrier.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Don, have a great day. Appreciate it. Bye-bye. And that's Don Kueper, head coach of the Wayne City Indians. Again, they will get to host a regional this year, Danny, in Class 1A, and I know they're looking forward to that. And again, they've beaten everybody that will be in their regional. So, you look at that and you think, well, that's an opportunity that we could possibly win a regional. And, of course, they're still in the hunt for the Midland Trail Conference title as they're still unblemished in the MTC.
Yeah, they've had a good season, had a little up and down. They've had some injuries they've dealt with, but they're playing pretty good basketball headed into regional play. Mm-hmm. Speaking of another team playing some good basketball.
Yeah, the Eldorado Eagles, and the pairings came out yesterday also from the IHSA for the Class 2A regionals, and Eldorado will host a regional this year, and the Eagles will be the number 1 seed in that regional. No surprise. Also in that regional will be Carmel against Harrisburg in one game, West Frankfort against Johnson City in another. Last night, the Eagles played Johnson City, and, man, they put up a lot of points, didn't they?
Yeah, his team has a lot of capabilities down there, and they're going to make some racket in this postseason play.
Well, let's talk to the head coach right now, Josh Bradley of the Eldorado Eagles. Good morning, Josh. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great to have you on the Sports Couch. 94-67 last night, your Eagles over Johnson City. Man, were you running the ball last night or what?
Yeah, it's something we've kind of talked about here the last 2 weeks. We feel like with our speed and size, the one thing we got to do late in the season is try to wear teams out. So we're really working on pushing the ball hard down the floor and taking the first best shot, and we did that pretty well last night.
Well, Coach, I just tell you right now, I'm gonna mark your team. I've been looking at some brackets and some things right here, and I'm sending you to the sectional championship game.
Well, if it works out like that, we'd take it. We'd appreciate it.
Well, I guess there's no reason to play any games now then. Danny's already said you're going to be in the sectional championship, right?
Well, I'm just putting the pressure on him to get there.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. But, I'm sure you are happy to be hosting the regional, though, right?
Yeah, we are. We've not had one here in a while, and for the group of guys that we've got, and to be able to play it at home where we play a little bit better at it, it's nice to have that this year here at Eldorado.
Well, before you get into that regional, though, you got a really big game coming up later this next week against the Edwards County Lions, and the Lions are looking for a possible share of the Black Diamond Conference with you, so that's going to be a huge game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's good, and it's kind of nice to have that game right before you go into a regional, something with the importance of a conference championship outright on the line and a team trying to fight to get a piece of it. To be able to do that going into a regional here, to kind of have that win mentality is nice going into that week. And it's going to be a tough game. We've never played there. They're a well-coached team. They're a very good basketball team. So it ought to be a fun night up there Friday night.
Yeah, their team matches up well with your team. Your team has a lot of size, strength, length, some long-arm guys. That 1-2-2 trapping defense you play creates a lot of havoc with the people you have to play that. And then you got the guys on the back line. Okay, go ahead, just beat my front line, and these guys will take care of business on the back end. And it's going to take a pretty good effort to beat your Eldorado Eagles team.
Yeah, it's our strength. Our length, our quickness. Ray May and Ethan and Meredith are so long up top, and they getting their hands. We're kicking the ball everywhere. And then if you don't, you got Max or Jake or Braden down there. You got big guys inside, and with our length, it makes it tough. You gotta be able to make a tough shot over the top of it. And most high school kids struggle with that a little bit. We do the same thing. It's make a guy make a tough shot, and if he makes it, you just tip your hat to him and you go on.
Well, you look at your first-round opponent. You're going to play the winner of West Frankfort, Johnson City. You've played both those teams. I would think that West Frankfort will probably get Johnson City. So on Tuesday night, looks like it'll be a matchup between you and possibly the West Frankfort Redbirds.
Yeah, and they're a much better basketball team than what their record shows. West Frankfort is. They're in every basketball game, always late. They're a well-coached team. They're disciplined. They played us really well at West Frankfort a few weeks ago, and we were able to turn them over late in that second half and kind of run away with it a little bit. But it's not going to be an easy matchup either way we go. It's Coach Tony and those guys are going to have a chance to get to a sectional at home, so they're going to have something to be playing a lot for too. And it should be an interesting first-round matchup for us.
Well, and we've seen them play enough times this year that there's been times where we've really seen Glodich just really take off for them. And, sometimes when he's really feeling it, he can make some special things happen for those Redbirds.
Yeah, he's kind of – we feel like he's kind of the difference maker from him. The Allen kid can score and he can fill it up. And if you can kind of contain Glodich and he doesn't get off that night, then you've got a pretty good chance to beat him. But it's like you said, if he comes and he's engaged and some shots go in early for him and he feels pretty good about it, now all of a sudden that changes things a little bit. So, he's the guy that we try to key on every time we play him to make sure he doesn't get going. And, we've been able to do that twice. We'll see if we get the opportunity, if we can do it a third time.
Then in the other side of that bracket, you got the Carmel Bulldogs taking on the Harrisburg Bulldogs. So, those two schools are both very close to you. You play them quite a bit throughout the season. That game there could be a toss-up game either way. Carmile's defeated Harrisburg twice on the season, so it's hard to get a team three times. And Randy Smith-Peters will have his Bulldogs ready to play.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be fired up. Anytime, you get a chance to play somebody that beats you twice, that third time, it doesn't matter sometimes how much better you are than that team. That third game, it's tough to do against a well-coached, good basketball team. And that's what Harrisburg is. That ought to be a pretty good matchup, and then, whatever happens, if we get a chance to play Carmel or Harrisburg, it'll be a tough matchup and a good game on that Friday night in this gym.
It'll be a full house in there on that gym on regional championship night, regardless of how it shakes out, especially if your Eldorado Eagles are there, and that they will be. And either one of those two teams have a good crowd that travel very well. So it'll be an exciting night of basketball down there at Eldorado.
Yeah, we think so. With our gym, the atmosphere that this gym produces is like none other in our little area here. And Carmel, Harrisburg, Frankfort, they all bring a crowd, and we're going to be, a good atmosphere. It'll be fun for the kids from all the schools to get a chance to be a part of it.
So play along here with me now. Looking at the other side of this bracket, you got Bridgeport and Casey, Lawrenceville and Newton. The winner of that Bridgeport-Casey game is going to take on Marshall. They come in as the number 2 seed. And you have Robinson as the 3 seed in that bracket. So I'm going to predict that on that Friday night it's going to be Marshall against Robinson, and Marshall's got a great team. But Robinson coming in at the 3 team, that should be a great game there. So in the sectional, that would be your first-round opponent after you go through that Eldorado regional.
Yeah, like I said, if we get lucky enough to be there looking ahead, that's kind of the one thing we talked about with being the number 1 seed. You kind of get to avoid a Topless or somebody like that in that first round game. So that's huge. But you got to play a team like Marshall, Robinson, 2 quality basketball teams that have had a lot of success this year. I don't know much about Robinson right now top. I've seen Marshall a little bit here or there, and we match up pretty well, I think with both teams. So, it's the best matchup for us if we're able to get there. But you're going to, right now, come regional sectional time, you got to play your best basketball, and every night if you have one bad quarter in a regional or a sectional, then, that may be the reason you get beat. And so that's our focus going forward right now, just try to put 32 minutes together and play our best basketball here coming down the stretch.
I was talking with head coach Jeremy Varner, and that was one of the things I mentioned about his team. They've made some great strides in this season. They've battled your Eagle team tough a couple times, but it seems like last night they had a bad first quarter against Carmel, and Carmel got out to about a 10-point lead on them just because the Foxes couldn't put the ball in the hole last night. And they battled back, and they just never could climb the hill. And a lot of games it's been that third quarter, and like you said, you have to have 32 minutes of consistent ball, or it's the difference in the ball games.
It's the difference, and especially come regional or sectional time. And we've been fighting that hard here the last month of the season with our guys. We usually play a really good first quarter and a really good fourth quarter. We kind of bookend them together, and we just kind of play even in the second and third quarter. And, as the season goes on and you progress and the further you get a chance to advance, every team you play is going to be as good as you or better than you. And that second or third quarter that we're at, it can't happen. You've got to be able to play for 32 minutes. And the teams that find a way to do that in the postseason are the teams that advance.
Yeah, it takes a good 32-minute effort night in and night out to get there. And depth and health, how's your team? You pretty healthy?
So far, knock on wood, yes, we have been. We've been healthy. We've been able to avoid the sickness on nights we play. We've had some of this flu bug going around, but it's been on practice nights or, days before games, and we've been able to avoid any major injuries so far going into the season. We got 2 games left here for postseason play, so hopefully we can stay lucky enough to avoid any of that.
Who is your other game besides Edwards County you have coming up on the regular schedule?
Couple. We go to Massac.
Okay, you go to Massac.
Team who, that's playing much better basketball right now. So that's going to be a tough matchup for us on Tuesday night. It's great for our team. As we talked about a little bit, we've got a chance to play 2 quality teams on the road to get us ready for a regional. You can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah, the Massac County Patriots, I think, won 4 in a row right now. They're going to travel over to Benton tonight to take them on. So that'll be a big game over at Rich Herring tonight.
Yeah, I plan on going over there and trying to watch them play a little bit to kind of see how they're playing. I know I talked to Coach Olson the other night, and he was pretty happy with the way his ball club's been playing as of late. And it's what you figure, Coach Olson's team, they're going to get better as the season goes on, and that's what they've done. So it's going to be a good test to kind of find out where we're at against the pretty good athletes that Coach Olson has, a team that's going to defend you pretty uptight and get after you a little bit. So it's a good test come regional time here to kind of find out, measure ourselves where we're at kind of on that.
We were talking about teams staying healthy, Coach, and none of us really know what the impact's going to be now on the bus wreck yesterday involving the Teotopolis Wooden Shoes. We understand there were some injuries, none serious, but, you don't know what that's going to do to that team, not only physically, but also how it will affect them emotionally. It can kind of go either way on how that comes out of that situation.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You just don't know, and you hope you just stay lucky enough to avoid any of that. As that happens, then you stay pretty lucky over the course of the season if you can avoid that for about 4 months. And so far, we've been able to do that, and hopefully we can continue.
Well, and when we wish the best for all those folks in Teotopolis, because that was a scary situation. Yeah. I don't know if you saw that video or not, but boy, that could have been a lot worse than what it was.
Yes. During the JV game, I'm sitting on the bench, and 2 or 3 of my varsity players are running down the stairs to show me pictures of their bus flipping and everything else. And anytime something like that happens, for everybody to kind of walk away from it without too many major injuries, players and coaches, so that's that's nice to see, because that could have been catastrophic.
Yeah. So your overall record now for the Eagles is what?
25-2.
25-2. Wow, that's just outstanding. Been a long time since you've seen a 25-win season in Eldorado.
Yeah, it has been. And these kids have worked hard. It's been our focus kind of all season, just try to win more than you lose, and these guys have kind of bought into that the last couple of years, and it's nice to see some of these guys' hard work that they put into it over the summer and over the last couple of years pay off for this group of kids.
You bet. So you'll go on the road Tuesday at Massac County, finish on the road at Edwards County on Friday, and again, that'll be for a Black Diamond Conference title, and then, of course, you open at the regional
on Tuesday night.
On Tuesday night, yeah. All right.
Tuesday night, yes.
All right. Well, Coach, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Again, congratulations on another win last night, and best of luck here down the stretch, all right?
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Don't let me down, Coach.
All right. All right.
All righty. Bye-bye. Josh Bradley, head coach of the Eldorado Eagles, and again, they are, in a good situation, I think, when you take a look at what it looks like for the postseason pairings there, Danny. I mean, they got a regional at their own place. They, like he said, they avoided a Teotopoulos because they're, the 1 seed.
Yeah.
And so they're not going to have to face a T-Town until you'd get, much
championship game of the section.
Yeah, much farther down the line.
And, looking at things and how it plays out, you're looking at an Eldorado versus Marshall and a T-Town versus Mount Carmel.
Mm-hmm.
And any of those 4 teams can make it to that sectional championship. But I'm telling you, I like this Eldorado Eagle team.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of size. He's got a lot of strength. He's got shooters. He's got a good point guard, Randy, that a lot of people do not give him enough credit.
Right.
Cale Oglesby just kind of flies around. But you know what? He takes care of the basketball. He gets it to Braden Atterbury, Partridge, them guys in under Traxler in under that basket. And then he's got his 2 super subs.
Oh, yeah.
Ray May and the little kamikaze.
Kaiser. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, those 2 guys, Ray May, if he don't get it with his hand, he gets it with his foot. That kid has kicked more basketballs in Southern Illinois. He ought to be a soccer player.
He does, yeah. And you said little kamikaze. I think he's not little. Talking about Kaiser. He's a beast that comes in there.
Yeah.
He's more of the beef lineup.
Well, he's really the enforcer.
Yeah, he's the enforcer. You got it, yeah. So, I mean, you could potentially see, again, a matchup between Eldorado and Mount Carmel, who played to a 2-point game earlier in the season, and they could potentially meet there for a sectional championship at West Frankfort. Some people might be wondering, okay, well, where you guys haven't talked about, Nashville or Waterloo Jabot this morning or Pinckneyville. Where are those guys at? Well, those guys are all feeding into the Nashville sectional, which will ultimately go to the SIU Super Sectional, and you've got the Trico Regional, Danny, that's got Pinckneyville as the 1 seed in that, along with DuQuoin and Anna Jonesboro, Vienna, Chester, and others. Waterloo Jabot, of course, has moved up this year from 1A to 2A, and they're hosting their own regional. But they're in a regional that will also include Alton Marquette, so it'll be a challenge for Waterloo Jabot to come out of that, but I think they certainly could. Nashville is being sent to the Carlinville Regional, so they got to do a little bit of traveling. Nashville going to the Carlinville Regional. They'll be the 2 seed there in that Carlinville Regional. They'll also be in there with Piasaw Southwestern, as well as Carlinville, Gillespie, and Staunton. But I look for Nashville to come out of that regional. And then a team that, again, I think is flying under the radar screen is the Carlisle Indians. They are the 1 seed in that complex, and they're in the Hillsboro Regional. So they're going to do a little traveling as well. So Carlisle is the 1 seed there in that Hillsboro Regional. They got the first-round bye. Also in that regional with them is Trenton Westland, which has kind of been a up-and-down team this year. You've also got Vandalia, Greenville, Hillsboro, and Litchfield in that regional. You can see all these regional pairings, by the way, on our sports website at AreaSports.net, but it is quite interesting to see how it's all playing out.
Yeah, it's amazing. Some teams that, Nashville's always been a team that went south, and now they're kind of going north. They kind of took them north like they have the Oakville Rockets, and, it's going to be interesting to see how some of this plays out. A team, Bobby Wagner's Pinckneyville Panthers, they have to be a favorite to come in off that west side over there to get down there to that possible Carbondale Super Sectional. So, there's a lot of good basketball to be played here in the next 2 weeks. A lot excited. It's definitely, they call it March Madness, and it's not that for no reason. So, should be some great basketball coming up here in the next couple of weeks in these regionals, sectionals, and as we head to the Carbondale Super.
Well, and as we talk about 2A, of course, we were talking about a potential matchup in a sectional championship that could find its way again, and another rematch between Eldorado and Mount Carmel, which would be phenomenal because they played a 2-point game earlier this year at the Hilltop. And let's get the perspective now of Aces head coach Tyler Buss. He's on the phone with us right now. Good morning, Tyler. How are you?
Hey, good morning. Doing well. Thanks, guys.
Great. Good to have you on the Sports Couch this morning. Regional pairings are out, and you've had a chance to kind of, digest that a little bit. You're going to be going to the Flora Regional where you'll be the favorite there, but you're also going to have some challenges potentially with either Edwards County, Fairfield, Flora, or Hamilton County.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. It's very, very competitive regional for sure, and, we know that we'll have to make sure we're playing our best basketball and, go up there and try to win 2 games.
Well, your team's been playing some great basketball all season, Tyler. I got to witness them. Matter of fact, I broadcast a game you played last Saturday afternoon down at the Rich Aaron Classic. I'm sure you didn't think maybe you played your best game of the season, but you done the things it took to win that contest down there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. There's been some games this year where, the pace wasn't where we liked it, and, it was kind of one of those choppy type of games where there wasn't a whole lot of flow to it. But, I thought our guys did a good job there in the fourth quarter, doing some things defensively to kind of speed Nashville up a little bit. And then, we were able to make our free throws and make some big plays late. So, I think that's probably the biggest thing I can say about our guys is they just keep finding ways to win games. And, we've won games a lot of different ways throughout the season. I think, when you get to postseason, you could see any type of game. And so I think from an experience standpoint, we've been through a lot of different types of games and found ways to win those games. So that's why we're excited as we get to the end here.
Your team last night, did you play for the conference championship over there last night, or is that coming up this week?
No, we have a little scheduling snafu there. We played Tuesday, and then we're off 10 days before. So we'll play next Friday for the conference championship at home, which is it's a neat thing for our guys. We've never the most we've ever won in the Big 8 was 3 games, and we're 5-0 now this year. And usually this last game of the regular season hasn't meant a whole heck of a lot, but we're excited to play Washington. They're 5-0 in the conference, got a nice season going as well. But we're at home, and like I said, we're excited, and it's a good opportunity for us to basically be in postseason mode before the postseason starts.
Well, that has to be an advantage. We were just talking to Josh Bradley, and that's one of the things he was talking about. His team is heading to Edwards County next Friday night, and if they win, they're conference champs. If they lose, they tie. So he said, we're actually starting our playoff series next Friday night because he said we definitely want to be conference champs, and it sounds like your team's in the same position. I knew that game was coming up. I didn't know whether it was last Friday or this coming Friday. Things are kind of running together on me right now, if you know what I mean.
Well, you see a lot of games, and a lot of you do a lot with basketball, so I'm sure they start running together as many games as you guys get out to. But yeah, it is next Friday, and we're taking some time here to get some legs back under us, and we're going to try to use the break to our advantage, and while still staying sharp as well.
Well, Coach, you're right. Right there is a key factor also. We're to the point in the season, it's really becoming a grind for these young men. I heard Ron Weinmiller talking this morning. His team kind of stubbed their toe on Wednesday night. He felt they lost to Murfreesboro at home in a makeup game, but he said his team's played 10 games in 18 days, and he said we're kind of feeling the pain of that right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This is, the time of the year where you got to kind of be smart with your guys. We've probably spent less on-court time, in terms of practice and things, and how many minutes we're on the floor. It's probably as low as it's been all year. And, because this is the kind of the time of year where, you're fighting some nagging injuries and tired legs. And so, we've done a lot more kind of from the film study and looking at stuff like that rather than, having these 2.5, 3 hour practices. You just got to kind of be smart with how you structure things here at this part of the season because you want to make sure you're fresh and ready to go when that postseason hits.
Well, when you look at things through the course of the long season, it is a grind. It's a big grind. Last Saturday, your game, like you said, I thought Nashville made you play at their pace, and they were able to stay in there and battle against your team. But your team ground out a victory and put another win on the season. What is your record now?
We're 23-3 right now, 23-3.
So that's something you have to be very proud of, and I know you've got bigger and better dreams ahead, but, it's been a great season.
Yeah, it has, and we're definitely proud of what we've accomplished to this point. But this is a group that that from the get-go, it just seemed like our guys kind of had a different mental makeup about them this year. They never really get too high, they never really get too low, and I've just been really pleased with the way we've kind of went to work here, especially these last couple weeks. You get to this part of the season, you kind of start looking forward to the postseason, and sometimes your practices and stuff can slip, and and you can take some days off and things like that. But these guys have come to work every day, and they've been a fun group to coach.
Well, you again, you're going to be the top seed there in that Flora Regional. You'll get the winner of the Flora Wolves and the Hamilton County Foxes on that Tuesday night, February 21st there in the regional. And, again, you got some time off, so it's going to give you plenty of time to study some film and be ready for some of these teams looking ahead to the postseason. And do you like the way that everything is laying out for you, though? I mean, obviously, if you're able to come out of that Florida Regional, you're going to play the winner of the Pana Regional, which we assume would probably be T-Town.
Yeah, and we to get to where we want to get to this year, you gotta beat everybody, and you got to beat them as they come. So we're not too caught up in the schedule in terms of who we play and when we play them and where and all that. We're just focused on this first one. We're focused on Friday night, and then once postseason hits, like I said, we'll be ready for that as well. And it's amazing with technology these days. A couple clicks of a mouse, and you got all the game film you could ever want, probably. So we'll definitely be prepared, and we're excited to get things going.
Well, what the T-Town team was in a bus accident last night. What do you think the outcome of that will be? Will that have an impact upon their season now? They were very fortunate, but is that going to be a distraction for those kids now, or do you think it will be another motivating factor, just another hill they have to climb?
Yeah, thankfully, from all the reports I've heard, everybody's okay, and sounds like they, got out of it unscathed, and so hopefully that's the case, and I'm sure from a mental standpoint that's a scary deal, but a lot of times sometimes you go through that as a team, and that can really bring a team together and kind of rally around that, and I'm sure that's what Coach Hansen will do with those guys, because he's as good as it gets, and I'm sure they'll use that as a motivating factor going forward. And, again, just really, really thankful that didn't turn out worse than what it probably could have.
Yeah, it's a wake-up call to all of us, Tyler. Sometimes we take for granted people get upset when you cancel school, when there's not a lot of snow and things like that. But you know what? Right here is a prime example. It only takes one little thing for something to turn into a big deal, and we're all very fortunate that it was not a much worse situation for those teams last night, and very thankful and glad everybody's able to basically walk away from that thing in pretty good shape, because it could have been a lot different story here this morning in Southern Illinois.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You see the video, and it just it's pretty quick reminds you that there's we're lucky that we get to play a game, and there's a lot more important things and a lot bigger things out there. And again, just very thankful that turned out okay, and hopefully they'll pick right back up and be good to go.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Your team pretty healthy heading into this coming week?
Yeah, we are. We're no, knock on wood, no nothing major so far, other than just the typical ankle tweaks and all that sort of thing. But no, we're in good shape, and can't wait for Friday to get here.
Yeah, I bet there's going to be a lot. There won't be anybody at that game on Friday night, will there?
No, there may be a couple people that sneak in the back door, but yeah, no, I'll be on social media and on the radio all week, begging people to get up here, because this is a big type of game that deserves that big atmosphere, and our fans have been great this year, both on the road and at home, and I would imagine Washington will bring a whole crew as well, so it should be a lot of fun at the Hilltop on Friday.
Yeah, in your coaching career, this will be one of the highlight deals that you sit back and look back at, Tyler. When you think about it, you'll remember what went on at that game in about 15 years from now, and it'll be a very special time to you.
No doubt about it. Someone was asking, when was the last time we pretty much had a full house in a big game? And I always go back to the double overtime regional championship game against Flora here a few years ago. I mean, that was as good a basketball game as you'll see. That was, that's one that, if I'm bored on a Saturday afternoon, I'll throw that DVD in, and I could watch that, 100 times. And obviously when you come out on the winning side of it, it's a little more enjoyable to watch. But I always go back to that game because that was about as good as it gets.
Well, I seen you took a little scouting trip, and you imagine you were able to squeeze a little time in with somebody pretty special in your life last night.
Yeah, it worked out good. Like I said, usually, I get in the truck and drive an hour and a half to go scout. I'm not probably the happiest of campers, but Washington played in Bloomfield, Indiana, which just happened to be about a 30-minute drive from Bloomington for Tyra. So she jutted down, and I bought her some Mexican, and we had a good dinner, and then went to watch the Hatchets last night.
That's awesome. Well, and speaking of Tyra, the Indiana Lady Hoosiers got a big win on the road here recently at Rutgers, and I understand that's the first time they've ever won out there at Rutgers. Is that right?
Yeah, that is right. Yeah, that was a big win. They're pretty much in must-win mode right now. They want a chance to get back to the tournament. They got a pretty favorable schedule going forward here as they kind of round out the regular season. They're still fighting for to try to get in that top 4 of the Big Ten, which is important for the Big Ten tournament. Get that double bye. So they got another big one at home this morning at 11 o'clock against Northwestern, who beat them up there in January. So hopefully they can go get another big win and keep rolling.
Yeah. All right. Well, Tyler, thanks so much for joining us this morning on the Sports Couch, and best of luck as you prepare for that conference championship against Washington this week in the Big 8 there in Indiana, and go out there and get that, all right?
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Always enjoy talking to you, and hope to do it again soon.
All right. You bet. Thank you. Okay. Thanks. Bye-bye. It's Tyler Buss, head coach of the Mount Carmel Aces, and they'll come in as the favorite of that Flora Regional, and could be on a collision course possibly with T-Town after that.
That West Frankfort sectional, Randy, is shaping up to be 4 dandy teams.
Oh, it sure is, because you take a look at the fact that, you could have
Eldorado versus Marshalls, who I'm predicting, and T-Town versus Mount Carmel.
Yeah, that's 4 pretty good teams right there.
I've not seen this Marshall team play. That's one of the few teams we haven't seen throughout Southern Illinois this season. But all the reports are they've got some size, they got some length, they got some shooters. So, they're going to be able to battle these teams. When you get to the sectional round, there ain't going to be no gimmies.
No, there's not going to be. So that's going to be some exciting basketball to see there in postseason. And you've got one tonight, Danny. Let's tell everybody again the game that you're doing tonight.
Yeah, the Waltonville Spartans are coming into Hamilton County tonight. Also, I'd like to mention that the Hungry Hearts program that provides psych lunches over the summers for the students in Hamilton County.
I'm familiar with that, yeah.
They're having a chili supper fundraiser there before the game tonight. Chili or potato soup, so make sure you get out and support those programs. I think it's $5 to go in there and eat tonight. So go help that program. They do a lot of good for the youth of Hamilton County over the summer. Some kids that make sure they get a good lunch over the summer when they're not in school, and it takes a lot of effort by those folks to put that on, and kudos to them. And should be a great game between the Foxes and the Spartans tonight.
Yeah, so
if you can't get there, watch it live, foxesfans.net.
All right, so if you're going to the game, go out early, enjoy you some of that chili and that soup to raise some funds there for that organization, and then enjoy the game between the Foxes and the Spartans. And again, if you can't make it out to the game tonight at Hamilton County in McLeansboro, you can watch it with Danny live on foxesfans.net. Well,
Billy, don't be slacking on me tonight.
All right, well, we're out of time, so we'll be back again next Saturday morning for another 90 minutes of local sports talk, and we'll be really into the postseason grind then, because the postseason will begin that following week.
You're going to be here by yourself.
I am? All right. That's going to wrap it up for today. We'll talk to you next Saturday morning. Have a good weekend, everyone. So long. Your station for the Casting Crowns concert on Good Friday, April 14th at the SIU Arena in Carbondale. This is WVYN, Blueford, Wayne City, Fairfield, McLeansboro.